Okay, so this is going to be a really quick tutorial where I want to show you how you can begin to add atmosphere into your scene to add just like a little bit more naturalism into the way the lighting works. And so this is going to be really straightforward. So to get started, so if you want to get to this point, you can look at my last tutorial where I talk about HDRI maps and creating area lights and materials. And so let's add some fog. So I'm going to click on this settings, this render settings button, right where my cursor is. And I'm going to go to, there's this pop-up window will show up. And then we have these tabs. And so I'm going to go past common to the Arnold render. And then if we go down to environment, we're going to get this tab. And next to where it says atmosphere, this checkerboard, I'm just going to click on that and then create atmosphere volume and let go. And so that's all we need to do there. So I'm just going to close that out. And so you can see nothing really changed in my render. And so over here in the attribute editor, you'll see that the AI atmosphere volume panel comes up. And if I click off of this and I want to find that again, the way that you find that is you go under the hypershade. Oops, my hypershade window is ginormous here. And you can find it in the hypershade. It's going to be called AI atmosphere volume. So it's just under my list of materials. So if you ever lose track of it, that's where you can find it again. So here we go. Okay, so we're loaded up. So there's just a couple sliders that we really need here. So the density is the main slider, as you can see. So the higher the density, the more the fog or the atmosphere will show up. And then we can change the color of it if we want to. I like to just keep it white. You know, it gets a little cheesy, I feel like. I mean, that can look cool, though. I mean, if you're going for like a stylized, you know, kind of thing. So I'm going for naturalism here, so, you know, just keep that in mind. So we have the density, and then really the other main thing is the attenuation. And so the way I like to think of the attenuation is basically how difficult it is for that light to kind of move through the air, right? So we have the density here, and then we have the attenuation. And the main things I'm generally doing when I'm messing with atmosphere is I'm kind of exploring these two options. And so this is already a pretty dark scene, and so I want my atmosphere to be just super subtle, right? So we can take this in all different directions and have a lot of fun with atmosphere. But for this render, I'm just going to go for something subtle. So I'm going to have the attenuation all the way down to 0. And then maybe for the density, let's do 0.05. That's still pretty strong. 0.01. You know, so now we're cooking here. And something that's fun is if I change my perspective view, you can see our light starts to kind of show up right there, right? So having that atmosphere kind of brings that light into play in terms of its visibility. So if we set up our render to look something like this, you know, that looks pretty cool, right? So that's just like one quick trick that I think can be really helpful in just adding just that next level onto your renders. And so again, the density and the attenuation slider are the main thing. So this is kind of what it looks like with it off. And then let's do 0.05. Oh. You know, so 0.005, you know, we get just like a little subtle thing going on right there. And so something to consider with your scenes, particularly if you want glowing objects or if you want just that next little touch of realism added into your scene.